Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you are new. Today we're kind of in our little school area. It's not really a room per se, it's a space off of a large room, and we really don't do school exclusively in here. But I'm going to show you some of my favorite parts and favorite things that we have in this area anyways. So if that's something you like to see, make sure you stick around. One of the first things I really love is something that we've done for about maybe 2.5 school years, and that's this schedule here. So this is super simple to make. All it is colored paper, and I sent it through the printer and I printed out the days of the week on it. I printed out the days of the week on each, and then I went ahead and laminated the papers. And then after I laminated it, I put some Velcro adhesive, just a couple of lines on each one. You'll see that Sunday and Saturday are half days because we don't do quite as many things, or I don't have to prep as much on those days. They're more family type days and things like that. But this works as kind of a visual schedule for my kiddos. So as you can see, let me back up a little here. I just have it on these two little like strings up here, and then they're clothespin on, and then the strings are actually just like little twine, and these are like smaller command hooks, and then I just have mini clothespins and I put them on here. So what this does for us is that kind of reminds them, here on Monday I have school, and it just kind of reminds us, or the kiddos, they have a visual that we're gonna get back into things and get started with school for the week. And then if we have any extra things that we're gonna do or stuff, we typically do go outside more than just once a week. But this one, I didn't have a field trip one, so we're gonna make a couple of new kind of visual reminders to go on here. We have some from where we lived before, but we've moved out of state and I don't have any newer ones. So this one just served as a field trip. We had a field trip day on Tuesday, and so I just put that one up and the kiddos knew that's what that meant. But it also holds things like Friday. Friday is typically our fun Friday, so my daughter wanted to make sure we did some art that day, and then we were gonna play some games, so we have that down there. We had a speech, my youngest son we're going through some testing, and so we had a speech testing on this day, and so we just kind of put that up for now. And then it also serves for the kiddos to know when Daddy's going to be home. So especially my youngest will kind of ask, is Daddy home today? Do you get to stay home today? And it kind of gives him a bigger, broader reminder of the days that Daddy gets to stay home, because he can visually look at it and kind of count down the days and say, okay, if today is Monday in the red one, then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days until Daddy gets to come home. It also helps if he has to work on a Saturday, then we'll put a little reminder up there for them too, so that they know that there's something a little bit different for this week. But this is one of my first favorite things. It's just a visual, really bright colored schedule or reminder of things we're doing. Where I store these is just right around the corner, and it brings me to my second favorite thing. This is so simple. It's just one of those over the door hanger organizers for your shoes. I think you put other stuff in there too, and that's just what we've done. You can see we have lots of different manipulatives and things like that on here. Down here is just some magnet letters that we have. I was just having a hard time finding a place to put them all and keeping them accessible to the kids, so I threw that here. These are just these magnet boards that you can draw with, and so those are in here. These are like little number robots. We have more magnet letters, numbers. We also have a giant die, and this has dry erase on it, so you can write different things or different numbers or sight words or whatever you want to use for it. So it kind of sits here, and then just like this is an outdoor game that he got, or a game where you throw things from his koala crate that my youngest gets. This is like a mini light bright thing, and so we use it for letters and numbers and things like that, or they just, draw pictures with it. They put some of their puppets up here and things like that. But this also houses, in the wrong spot. This also houses where we have some of our cards for the schedule. So it's right here. We have a ton, but like I said, I got to go through those and organize what we still need and what we don't, because some of these are from our last place that we lived. This works out really great because it houses some stuff that I just didn't know where to put or what to do with, and so I put it all here. It also works, I've noticed, as great for them to grab on the go. It also works really well for my kids when we're setting off and going somewhere and they want to take something in the car with them. These things are kind of more contained. So like that little light bright thing or the magnet where they can draw on the little board, they can grab those, take it in the car if they want something to do when we're out for a drive. The other thing that I really love is here in these cubbies. I do love this little cubby thing that we purchased off of Target and I put together. If you want to see at the extent of the school area, I will link the video both up in the cards and down in the description when we kind of reorganized and made this a little bit more homier for us. But one of the favorite things that I have in here are these bins. These bins house my youngest, the core materials that we're doing. So down here is math, and then up here is language arts, basically. He is 6 and on the autism spectrum, and so I just really try to get in language arts and math right now, kind of easing him in, and then as we have time throughout the day for more subjects, we'll kind of sprinkle those in with him and just see how it's going. It also, I have one for my daughter. And it just houses all of her materials, or most of her materials, again, for her core work. So it's got her language arts, reading comprehension. Typically, it has her math in here. I don't see it. She might have it out still. But then it also has, like, we have a little abacus that I made for her, and that's in there, her grateful journal. And then up on top, we just house, like, her pens and pencils and erasers, fun stuff like that. I love these because they're portable. They can just kind of grab their container and go sit wherever they want. So sometimes they will want to do school in the school area, sometimes they want to do it at the kitchen table, and then sometimes in their bedrooms or in the office, depending on if I'm working in there, in the living room. I really, really love that with homeschooling, it is not confined to one area. If we want to do school outside, we can just grab our bins and go outside with a picnic blanket or something. Or I really want to try doing schooling at the park, but I've not been adventurous enough yet to do that. But I love these. My high schooler also has a bin. And again, if you'd like to see more in depth what's in our bins, I will link the video both up in the cards and then down in the description for you too. And then another one of my favorite things is, I would consider it a school thing because it helps my youngest kind of not be too distracted. And what I mean by that is that if I'm working with one of his siblings and he needs to stay in the general area with us, these come in really handy for him. So it isn't typically schoolwork, but it really does help with our school days, and that is puzzles. My youngest absolutely loves doing puzzles, and it's been such a great thing for him to kind of stay concentrated and stick to one task until it's completed most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. So I have collected quite a few puzzles, mostly from the Dollar Tree and things like that. But sometimes what happens is when you get the cardboard puzzles, they kind of fall apart on you. It's hard to keep those boxes good and in shape. And so what I've done is taken those and put them in here. This is one of these containers. I think we got this one from either Michael's or Joann's, but this is one of those. I think they sell them as a photo keeper. I will try to link one down below. I think that even like Walmart makes them now, or something like that, but I know several companies are also making things quite similar to this. But what it is it's just a container. Ours is broken. It used to have another latch right here, but it broke off, but it still works. The top one unlatches like this, and then you open it up and it has these smaller containers inside, these little smaller things. And like I said, these were made to, I think originally for photos. It's a great size for like the 4x6 photos, but what we did was put our puzzles inside. So I just took out the, I cut out the picture from the cardboard of what the puzzle was. This one was like a little frozen one. And then on the back, I write how many pieces are in there. And then I have the I have the puzzles pieces right in here. And then we just close it up. This way, he can take out just one puzzle at a time and do it. When he's done, we can put it back in. It also takes up way less space than having all of those boxes. And he's able to kind of look through and pick out which one he wants to do a little easier than going through all the boxes. So far, this has worked really well for us. I did find that one of my little plastic containers broke, like the little latch, but you can also buy just the replacement, just this little plastic piece inside. You can also buy those replacements. So for now, this is working out great for us. I know we'll probably outgrow this, but we can just purchase either another one of these, or we can kind of just cycle through these as well. And then the last thing that I'll show you today, because I do have multiple favorites in here, but I wanted to kind of keep it just to a few for this first video, is this pocket kind of folder thing. I'm not really sure what it's called, and it actually stretches out to twice the size, but I just have it halfway through because we don't need the large one yet. So it actually folds out to be this larger one. I don't know if you can see it. So, but I have these little like ring clips on it because where I'm hanging it at is actually more part of our dining area instead of the like school area, but it works well here, and it's here for a purpose because this is where we kind of keep papers and things like that we want to show Dad when he comes home. So this is a way for my kiddos to kind of be able to share what they've done during the day or the week with my husband when he gets home, and it's a way for my husband to kind of make sure that he is seeing what we're doing and participating in school, especially with the littles. With my older one, he does have a class that he teaches with. They are going over I believe it's part of our history curriculum. If you want to see what that is, I will link the video to the 9th grade curriculum, both in the cards and down in the description. But especially for my littles, they will do some work and they will be super excited and want to share with Daddy, but of course we can't always pick up the phone and show him right away. So this is a great way for him to see it when he comes home. And so it's just more of their little papers that they've done, and they each have a cubby or a little pocket here that they use, and they will slide it on in there and make sure that as soon as he comes home and as he's hanging out with us, they can go over it with him and just talk with him about their day and what they're learning. So that's just a couple of things in our school area that we really enjoy having, and that kind of makes our homeschool life, day, week, whatever, a little bit easier for us. The bins definitely make things easier. I know the visual schedule is super, super helpful. That one we've had, and it's so easy to make. It was so simple to throw up, and I love resources like that are just really simple but really helpful. So I'd love to know, if you homeschool, what kind of tips or what kind of resources you have in your school area or in your school days that you use that make things a little bit easier for you. I think it's so great to learn from one another and kind of help one another out in this community. If you'd like to see more of some of the things that we were really enjoying in our homeschool, please comment down below and let me know. And I'd love to share a few more things that we're using that have just proven to be really helpful and useful. And the same for the other way. If you want to know what things we've kind of just put to the side and are not using and that proven to not be very helpful or just didn't click for us, let me know and I'll share a video on that too. Thanks so much for joining me on this quick little video of looking at things that are helpful in our school. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you aren't already. Thanks again. I truly appreciate you spending this time with me. So if that's something you like to do, I really, really love. Can you please stop yelling?